I'm Wayne Hemingway of Hemingway Design, a designer, also a patron of Sustrans. I was a patron of Connect 2 and hopefully played a part in getting that lovely 50 million. I've been thinking quite a lot the last couple of years about livability, and there's an increasing focus in the world's press and also amongst the cities who get the award of being to be the world's most livable city. Last year it was won by Copenhagen. Regularly it's kind of between Copenhagen, Melbourne, Vancouver. You get some of the European cities, especially the Swiss cities. And the most disappointing thing is that of all of the kind of livability indexes which are published by The Economist, by Business Week magazine, by Mercer's and by Monocle magazine, British cities just fare so badly. I think the highest that we ever see anything is London, coming in at 30. And when you think that, we think we're great in Britain, and yet we can't seem to get our cities anywhere near classed as livable, it's very disappointing. And you start to look through what goes into livability indices, and a lot about it is to do with public accessibility, public space, and being able to get around and not have the hassle of having to deal with traffic jams, with roads that it take ages to cross, with cycling that's unsafe, and with walking that's just uncomfortable because it's a city that's not been designed for walking. And you can really understand why Copenhagen is kind of sweeping the board at the moment. They've employed many great urban designers, including Jens Gale, to just rethink what a city is about, and about human beings and connecting. And after all, that is why we live together in cities. Around the world, people realise that cycling and walking is the right way of transport around our towns and cities. It's healthy, it's sustainable, and it's more fun, and in general it's easier. I would always choose in central London. Once you realise that the tubes don't get you there any quicker than on a bike or even walking most of the time, you choose it. And the only thing that does put you off is danger. For me, the only thing that puts me off being on my bike all the time in London is danger. The only reason why it's just so difficult to cycle around a lot of British cities outside of London is because it just doesn't feel safe. You're regularly verbally abused by taxi drivers are the main ones who verbally abuse you. You're regularly kind of driven off the road, and it's dangerous. And we have to start. The only way that we're going to change people's attitudes towards the cyclist, it's not just about changing people's attitude towards wanting to cycle or wanting to walk. I think the latent demand is there. I think the majority of people know that it's the right thing to do. It's certainly cool when you've got all these things like the fixed wheel phenomenon going on at the moment. It is just cool to cycle. But the biggest problem is to convince the people who don't cycle that the people who are on the road cycling and walking have as much right or more right than them in their cars, and they should be respected. And to do that takes an awful lot of work from engineers, an awful lot of work from councils, from council members, from the media. It's not just a case of, oh well, we'll have a cycle route there, and we'll take people, if they want to travel from here to there by walking and cycling, we'll make out a route. It's actually giving primacy, and the more that we can take from the home zone principles that were instigated in Holland in the 1970s, and the way that if we can take that through to not just residential streets but our city streets, the quicker we do it, the better. The main things we have to concentrate on is connecting communities. I remember watching that programme with Kevin MacLeod, I think it was in Doncaster, where they connected two communities by that wonderful bridge. Didn't seem like an awful lot else came out of that Doncaster project on Channel 4, but the one thing that did was evidently very successful is when they built the bridge across the river. I remember a disabled chap in his wheelchair just saying, for the first time ever, I can get to that part of town, without having to get in my car. And it's just liberating. The whole thing about I can get somewhere and I don't have to get in my car is liberation. It's a forward step. It used to be a forward step to think cars, we can get in it, but now the car has become so difficult to use and so wrong in so many eyes. We've got to start reconnecting other forms of transport, and cities that have been ripped apart, towns and cities that have been ripped apart by the car can be healed, and that's one of the things that Sustrans, is continuing to do and will continue to do. An example from where I've been working is seeing over the last nearly a decade now how the Millennium Bridge that won the Stirling Prize that links Gateshead and Newcastle and was instigated fantastically by Gateshead Council, how that has transformed not just the ability to get across between the quayside of Newcastle and Gateshead, but has completely changed the perception of Gateshead. It's allowed a conurbation now. When I first started to work there, Gateshead was always the poor relation to Newcastle. It was kind of thinking, that's the place where they have an athletics stadium and not much else. And now Newcastle is proud and to call its conurbation Newcastle Gateshead, and that's what the locals call it. They live in Newcastle Gateshead, not like, those buggers live in Gateshead, but we're happy we live in Newcastle. It's just not like that. And a bridge is one of the main things that's done that. A simple bridge for cycling and walking, no cars allowed on it. It's linked it at a low level between one quayside and another quayside. It's the arts quarter of Gateshead is absolutely growing massively. The Baltic, there's the new Northern Arts, the new Northern Design Centre of the North is opening on one side of the bridge, and it's just amazing. And just to see any time of the day and night people using it, photographing it, talking on it, sitting on it, great. And I think the important thing is to do it with style and to do it with design. When you look at what happened in Gateshead, especially that bridge now, if you look at what's on the postcards and if you type in to flickr.com and you start typing in Newcastle or Gateshead, one of the most iconic things is a footbridge and a cycling bridge, and so I think whenever in the past it would have been the Angel of the North, and now probably equal to that is a bridge, and that bridge is so and I think the Angel of the North is very symbolic, but one of the biggest symbols of healing, and healing, and also taking a conurbation forward, is a footbridge and a cycling bridge. And if we can do that, and we could probably look at examples in every town and city in Britain and find a route that would heal that town to a certain extent. So many towns have been ripped apart by flyovers and dual carriageways, and it's not impossible to put it right, and we have to put it right. So enjoy the conference, or the conferences, there's 6 of them I think. Out of the conferences some great schemes evolved and some great pictures for me to use in my talks. That'd be fantastic, but better than that if we can actually create some great routes for people to cycle and walk and just enjoy themselves.